Hello everyone, I'm Siri Berlin and I welcome you to Door 2 of my Advanced Self-Love Calendar. I hope you are good and you see me back in my nice rocking chair with all the candles. If you haven't seen my first video yesterday, you might think, why is she doing that? Why is she doing an Advent calendar about self-love? And I want to tell you shortly why I do this. I discovered that there are 11 aspects which lead to more self-love. And I believe that if you love yourself truly, a lot of hatred, mistrust, war, fights, envy, and all these things can be avoided because you just look out for yourself. You truly look what's going to be the best for me, and you take care of yourself. Yesterday we started by making ourselves beautiful for ourselves, finding nice things we normally don't do, making ourselves a gift by taking a nice bath, etc., etc. And today's video is all about now I even lost what I'm doing. This is all about the 3 biggest successes of last year. And before I start talking about it, I want to share the video on the Simone Richter page, so everyone who knows me can also see the video. I guess this is done now. This time needs to be there for it. So now we can go into the topic. I said I discovered 11 aspects of self-love, and I want to read them out to you again because I think it's really important that we know what could change our behavior, our love towards ourselves. I think first, learn to trust yourself. This I think is really important because sometimes we forget what we have achieved. So today's topic, the 3 successes of 2017, falls in that category. Learn to trust yourself. And then point 2 for me is discover what behavior of your behavior is learned and what is your original self. I think we do a lot of things which are not our original self, which are a copy from what we have learned in our childhood or what we think society expects us to do. And I try to just figure out, who am I myself? What is good for me? What nurtures me? Who am I really? And then to differentiate between the feelings from the past and the feelings from today. When we get triggered, really often it's a feeling from the past. It's something which we have learned or suffered through in our past. And if we learn how to differentiate that, if it's a feeling from the past, we can use the energy we're using there. We can use it for something else, which is more worth. I'll come to that a bit more in detail soon. Not today, but in one of my little advanced calendar doors. Discover your shadows. As you might know, hello viewer, it's nice to see you. I'm just talking about my 11 aspects of self-love. Discover your shadow, like you can see on my page, mydarkestshadow.com. I'm really into looking at dark shadows. Be understanding towards yourself, having some self-empathy. We're sometimes really hard on ourselves, and when we are really hard on ourselves, we're also hard on others. So being good to yourself, loving yourself, leads to being good to others and loving others. Trust others. Learn to trust others. That for me was really, really difficult. And how is trust built? We go into that later. Believe in the good in yourself and in others. As I said, what you install in yourself, you can also see in others. If you don't believe that you are good, you won't believe that someone else might want to do something good or is a good person, because you're always thinking that everyone else is like you are. Discover all the presents in life. I believe that we get lots and lots of presents and we don't even realize it, and we see what we're looking out for. So maybe if you want, you can look out for your presence. Discover the love inside you and discover the love inside others. Forgive yourself, and finally, forgive others. These are the 11 aspects I find really important on my way to more self-love. Maybe you have also other ideas. I would love to read about them. You can post them under this video or send me a message. I would love to hear about that. But now we start with today's door. Door number 2 opens, and it's all about your 3 successes of 2017. I can't even say in TH. So, when I ask this question in my seminars, hello viewer, nice to see you. Today's question is about what are my successes in 2017? When I ask this question in my seminars, it's really interesting. There is a lot of quietness after these questions, because we used to know our mistakes but not know our successes. How does this work? Maybe this is from ancient times and you, hello Miss Neighbor, Laura, it's nice to see you. It's really nice that you're watching. So we know what we did wrong, but we normally don't think about what kind of successes we achieved. And I think this might have been helpful, I don't know, when you might have been eaten by a wild animal, but now I think it's also an evolutionary advantage to look at what you achieved. Because I think if you know what kind of successes you had in life, or let's talk about 2017 today, then you know what you can learn from it. You know what could... how you can establish all the things which led to these successes. You can use them for other successes. And when something goes wrong, you can also remember your successes to stay strong, to stay focused, to not feel super bad at all. Because, we're just human, we're not perfect, but we do have successes, but we're not trained to look at it. The positive psychology started that we look at positive things in our life. There it was said that we try to improve our skills where we're already good at, and not to improve the things we can't do really well. So teaching a fish how to climb and an ape how to swim might be a bit nonsense. So how do we do with that? How do we look at our successes? This is a hard task. If you want, and if you want to take the time, you can sit down tonight, take 30 minutes, write down the 3 most important successes of 2017. It might take a while until you find them. But just look that you have 10 minutes for each and write them on 1 paper each. So use a big A4 sheet of paper or whatever you have. Maybe you have colorful paper. The more you appreciate your own success, the more good you will feel afterwards. And then when you found your success, think about it. Where were you when you had this success? Who was with you? With who did you celebrate the success? What actions of you led to this success? What else were surroundings like? How did your body feel? Were you super excited or kind of tense, or were you quiet? Were you loud? Who did you tell first about it? Whatever. Do you remember how it felt in your belly? Do you remember who told you about your success, or whether you discovered it yourself? And if you have done this with your 3 biggest successes of 2017, you can also think, maybe I want to celebrate these 3 biggest successes of 2017 with someone else. Who would that be? Maybe you want to put up all the answers for every success on the paper where you wrote down your success, and then stick it on the wall. so your family can see it, your friends can see it, your partner can see it, whoever is with you. Of course, it's also okay to be super secret with that. Celebrate it with yourself and light a candle, or indulge yourself with a nice drink, or what we talked about yesterday. So give yourself a present for your 3 successes and really become aware of the successes you did. If you think that's too hard, then I want to tell you what I tell my participants in the workshop. I ask them about the 3 biggest successes in last year, and they say, oh, I don't have 3 successes, that's a lot. Maybe in my whole life I had 2. Then I say, okay, then from now on, write down every week 7 successes. Just train. Maybe your idea of what a success is not yet right. And if you want, I can send you a little bit more of this exercise, a bit more intense ideas in the email. You can leave me your name in the comment if you want that. Just write newsletter, so I know you want to get my newsletter for the next 24 days, or just for today, but then you have to, of course, tell me it's just the one for today you want. Yeah, and because it's so nice and cozy here in my nice little rocking chair, I want to tell you about my 3 biggest successes of 2017. Now the TH was right. So one is I spent 7 months this year committing myself to art. This was not just me doing art somehow. I did not work in a bread job, so I saved some money and I allowed myself, that was the biggest point, not having the money. The biggest point was allowing myself to spend time for something which I don't know whether it will be financially rewarding at all. Just for me, a present for me, because I wanted it so much. And to do the 7 months, which was encouraged by my nice astrologist, Louisa, these stars are for you today. I did these 7 months and they made me super duper happy, and I think I want to do that again. I'm already planning another month, maybe, I don't know, something like every 3 months I want to have a month which is completely committed to art. Let's see, or the summer, we will see. Success number 2 of 2017, what was that? I wrote it down before. Oh yeah, after these 7 months of doing kind of nothing financially rewarding, I found back into really well-paid, interesting bread jobs. I call bread job everything which is not art and gives me money. It was beautiful. I didn't expect that. I thought I work as PMO again in a super boring job, which then would also be financially rewarding, but not as such. I'm really fulfilled by my momentary job as coach and trainer for Scrum and Agile methods, and I can really do something which is important for me. I can talk about values which are important for me, and I can teach and coach and train them with other people. That's a big success of 2017. And then last, not least, actually first, is my beautiful relationship. I'm so happy that I found this man. It's nearly 1.5 years ago, and this year we moved together in Berlin, and we're having such a nice relationship, really open. We talk about everything, I would say. Maybe there are some secrets, which is okay, from both sides, of course. But it's really, really nice. We spent a lot of time together, and sometimes I do forget that this was a big wish of mine to have this relationship, to be really close to another person, to do all the things one can do in a relationship. And I'm super happy. I can be completely myself, and I hope he feels that I can allow this for him as well. So my precious advanced calendar viewers, these were my 3 biggest successes. If you like to share your biggest successes of 2017, I would love to read about them. Write them down in the comments or send me a message. Tell me if you like this video, what you think about self-love, whether you're already a big, strong, self-loving person or whether you need some help. You can subscribe to my newsletter, so I'm putting everything or kind of the same stuff I'm saying in the video in a newsletter for people who want to reread it and not watch the video the whole time 20 billion times to understand what the task was to find to more self-love. It was beautiful talking to you, Laura. I'm super happy that you kept watching, and all the other ones who are watching I can't see right now. I hope I see you tomorrow when we open door 3. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Hej då.